Hello everybody, Damage Zombie here to talk to you about precious metals and why you might want to consider investing in them. Now first up, I've got to hit you with that disclaimer that I am just a guy on YouTube sharing his opinion. This video is just for entertainment purposes and you should consult your own financial advisor or licensed professional that you trust your money with. That out of the way, let me tell you why I personally like to buy silver and gold. So when it comes to money and investing money, I agree with the sentiment that you should be diversified. So I don't keep all of my savings in gold and silver, just like I don't keep it all in cryptocurrency, stocks, or real estate. I invest in all of those. And the reason why is if one area isn't doing so well or something terrible happens, I'm not out my entire portfolio of money. And these days, with more and more money being injected into our economy, at least here in the US through stimulus and other means, the purchasing power of the dollar is likely going to go down because inflation. So money you've got today, like let's say you've got 20 bucks right now, and in 10 years, that same $20 is not going to be able to buy as much goods and services as it does today. So this is nothing new. Problems like this have been around for hundreds, if not thousands of years. So what can you do about it? Well, one thing you can do is you can buy gold and silver. Now, where in the world would you buy gold and silver? You got a couple options. Most likely, pawn shops. Most people know of at least a handful of pawn shops in their nearby area. I have purchased from pawn shops. Primarily, I go to a refinery, which is a place that melts gold and silver and other precious metals into coins, bars. They also have the means to test for purity, etc. Right? You probably don't have one near you, but you might. Up here in Alaska, there's one that I like to go to, and there I have been able to purchase coins, bars, and I am a little more favorable to bars, and the reason why is when you're buying gold and silver, it's sold at spot price, as you know, that's the base, like how much money per unit of weight. So silver is often sold in troy ounces, and gold, at least smaller amounts, is usually sold by grams. Sometimes ounces, but because gold costs more, being able to break it down into a smaller unit of measure makes it more accessible to at least people like me who don't have a ton of money but still want to buy gold and silver. So I'll show you what I've got. So when I went to the Oxford refinery, I asked for 1 ounce bars. So not very big, it's got a little bit of heft to it. I like the bars because that premium that they charge, and the premium's lower, so I'm able to get more silver for my dollar. So what are premiums, right? So because of all the different forms you can buy gold and silver, different forms of it have added value to them. So let's say you just want to buy coins. Well, you can buy what they call a round, which is because it's round, right? You can also, of course, buy currency that is silver. So for example, you might even have some in your coin jars or collections. So this is a dime made in 1951, and as with some of the coins from the 40s, 50s, and around that time, they were made in silver. So that was before the government started adding fillers like copper, zinc, nickel to reduce their cost in making the coins, because when people figured out the silver is worth more than the coin itself, this dime probably worth $1-ish, They figured that out, so that's why they started adding fillers to it. And I'm sure there's many other reasons, which you can feel free to tell me all about below. Point is, there used to be American currency that was primarily silver. You can also buy in collectible form, of course. Anything can be collectible, but for example, I have got a little gold coin here that has a 2006 panda artwork for some sort of Chinese event, and the pawn shop that I bought it from was having a difficult time selling it for a high premium, so they offered to sell it to me at just above spot price because they were going to have to pay to get it melted down, since nobody besides me wanted to buy the coin form. To me, gold is gold, and if it's pure enough, they measure, so on purity, they measure down to 3 decimal places, so this is 0.999 pure. Silver has the same. You want to, of course, get pure silver. You don't want to get like sterling silver or other types that are not as pure, and that's because the value, you're getting more silver, less filler. You got to consider the physical space that precious metals take up. So this little container that holds silver rounds doesn't take up a lot of space, but if you were to buy thousands of dollars worth of precious metals, that's going to take up a sizable, amount of space. Are you going to store it where you live? Do you have a safe, super secret hidey hole? You can take it to a bank if your bank offers safety deposit boxes, but of course that costs money to maintain. So you've got to consider, do I want to have all my eggs in one basket, as they say? And for me, that answer is no. So that is why I only keep a small portion, like less than 10% of my portfolio, in gold and silver. But for me personally, it gives me a little bit of peace of mind or comfort knowing that I could easily turn this gold and silver into cash if I needed to. Worst case scenario, any pawn shop will buy gold or silver. I can't think of any pawn shops that have said, no, I don't want to buy gold or silver, unless it's stolen, of course, right? You can sell it to websites. For example, the APMEX, apmex.com is where I bought this little gold bar. It's a 1 gram bar. That cost me, I think, roughly $50, $60 at the time. And that just goes to show you don't have to buy huge dollar amounts of gold and silver. My strategy has been when I have, under $100, but I'm wanting to, invest a little bit of it. Occasionally I'll buy a silver round, or if I find a good opportunity to buy a gram or 2 of gold, I will do that. Now you also want to consider how much you're willing to spend on the premiums. Maybe you are more into collecting coins, and if you are, then you're going to pay a little bit more for, let's say, an American Eagle that's silver. That's going to be a higher premium because not only is it silver, it's also currency that's still spendable. You wouldn't want to spend it for a face value, of course, because a face value is far less than the actual precious metal value, but you could do that. So think about why you would want to buy precious metals. Is it because you want to collect it? Do you have a savings goal in mind and you just want to make sure that you're going to be able to have that same purchasing power in the future? What it is not is a get rich quick or get rich at all. Think of it as I have this amount of money now. I want that money to have the same buying power in the future. So I'm going to buy gold or silver so that I can have it later. That's my mentality for it. I don't intend on spending it, and I personally like to know that I've got a base, kind of like an emergency fund. And I know that gold and silver for the foreseeable future will have value. So that is why I buy gold and silver. I also am a collector, so I like to collect shiny things like a lot of people. And gold and silver is kind of fun to see what you can find out there. So let me know, have you bought gold or silver? What did you think of it? And would you recommend it? Let us know down in the comments below. I hope you found some of this information informative. Again, check out if there's any refineries near you. Go to apmex.com and look at what they offer. Until next time, thanks for watching, everybody.